Yeah, nothing changed for us. That's fair. Yeah, I mean it should work. Hopefully your audience can hear you.
Yeah, if not, Justin and I will just talk. Yeah, I can.
Yes. By the way, not only that, but the audience. So basically, because of the way you've routed your audio, Proctor, the audience can hear us currently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Apparently, I'm a little bit louder than Bob. That's good. That's a good question. That's a
Hopefully not
great
really
question.
long.
Hello. Yeah, we are extra live
Wow.
and surprises.
You can. I can.
Oh, they can't hear you. Nope. Yes. Now you're really quiet because you're far away from the mic. Yes, that's a lot nicer.
Yes.
Windows is what happened. Although We do need to go. Can you guys only hear me? They can. They can only. Well, Bob's not talking. To be fair.
No, I'll talk if you need me to.
Uh, yeah. Let's see here. Before we do that,
Mm-mm.
if you would go into your Windows settings again, Proctor. Go to where it says device properties for your input. I'm talking about on the Windows settings. No, no, you're sharing the other screen. But if you just hit input, go to device properties, and then you should see a volume slider. Make sure that is maxed out, and then we'll adjust it in OBS. Okay, so Windows didn't reset that then. Next thing would be to make sure it's maxed out in OBS as well. But you'll do that from the main screen. Bob, they are saying that you do need to increase your volume. So
Okay.
I would max yours out, Bob, if you could, based on what we were basing it on in the beginning.
I will do so. That's it. I'm maxed out. How does that sound?
Whoa, definitely got that's louder for me. Is that louder for you guys?
Is that too loud?
No, I think it sounds great. Nope, they're saying it sounds great.
Okay. I can hear you.
Wait for it.
Are you getting that screen? Oh, I'm getting a stream paused screen here. Yeah. It says Clever Crow has minimized their application. Sit tight. So
Yeah, that was the Discord stream.
I don't know. She's in the other room. She'll probably come tell me once you ask the question.
If you go live on Discord and share your screen for me, Proctor. Live on. Show me your OBS.
Can you hear? Yeah.
Give it a second. Refresh it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. That's what I needed to see. Okay. What's that? No, no, no. You're right. You're right. That's because I wanted to see your mixer. So if you could show me your mixer by scrolling down to the to your microphone that you're supposed to be using, which is that one. Yeah. See how it's not getting any audio right there? So hit the little cogwheel on it. Go to properties. Oh, I can't see that menu. It didn't pop up a menu. Just reselect the one that you have and apply.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Now people can hear you.
Yeah. Can anybody hear me? Do.
Yep. Now I can hear you.
Yeah, you can? Cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So everyone pretend all of that didn't happen. So I'm going to go start.
Now the
Hey,
thing is
everybody, welcome. It's Crow's Nest. Where have you been? Sorry, we're a couple of minutes late. No technical difficulties or anything to be worried about. I think we're up and running now. We do need some theme music. Who can come up with some theme music? Anybody that out there that wants to come up with some theme music and send to us? Justin, can we incorporate that, you think?
yeah, as long as they make it themselves and they give us the rights.
Right. And you don't think we would possibly have any technical difficulties adding that portion to our show too, do you?
No, I will show you how to add it.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm doing really good with microphones today. I don't think I can't foresee any problems with that. Anyways, so sorry about all that. Since we started early, then we're not even really running Reaper time yet. We're still well within that window. But joining us today is very, very special guests. Guests that we've been efforting to get on the show since it started, to be honest with you. The legendary Bob Rodolfi. Hey, Bob, how are you doing?
Hey, Michael. I'm doing good.
Thank you so much for figuring everything out. Now, we were supposed to initially, and that's why we had to call a Ronable last week, was you were going to be on last week, but there was some pool construction going on next door.
Our neighbor directly behind us demolished his in-ground pool with a jackhammer.
By himself?
No, they brought in one of those little bobcats with a jackhammer attachment, and it took 2 days to hammer that thing out, and then another 2 days to bring the dirt in to fill it out, because you can't bury all the bits.
Oh, so you can't sneak over there for midnight swims anymore?
No.
Oh, okay. Was that something you and Julie did on a regular basis?
No.
Bob was telling Justin and I that him and Julie have watched every one of these shows. And I didn't have to pay you guys anything to do that.
Not yet.
Appreciate it. It's the check in the mail. Or is the invoice is in the mail. I'll tell you right now that the check is in the mail, sure. But yeah, how are you doing today? Is it hot? How hot is it there in Arizona right now?
Right now, today, I think we're going to hit 112, and Thursday and Friday we're 115. That's what they're scheduling for.
What? That's like oven hot. Now I have to go. Yeah, go ahead.
You get used to it.
Oh, so as you know, and unfortunately, I have to go out there for work when travel can actually happen again, but before all the COVID crap. And I never hooked up with you guys, but I remember having to go out there and go to work and go to visit offices and whatnot, and stepping out of the hotel. Oh my God! Even at like 6 a.m., it's sweltering hot. It's oven. Yeah. It's a dry heat, but that's like sticking your head in an oven. Doesn't really make a difference.
It stays around 100 degrees well past 10 or 11 p.m. as well. Our lows at night are 89, 92, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. But you've got a swamp cooler, or you got an air conditioner?
No, we have an air conditioner. No, okay. Swamp coolers don't work during the monsoon season because it's too humid.
Are you in the monsoon season right now?
Yes, we actually just had a fairly major storm the other day. Small one, but it was powerful enough to knock down one of our neighbor's block fences.
Wow, we get your flow, your monsoonal flow, and phrasing, I guess, but. Right after you get it, it comes through Arizona and then comes up in the Colorado. Yeah. So we've had some nice
the next week is scheduled to be clear, except for in the northern parts of the state. So you might get a little bit of that.
Okay. Well, I'll always check with you before I go out and double check this.
Yeah, I'll go look outside and see what it looks like.
All right. So today, we are going to be working on one of your pieces from Bones 5. Do you remember the name of this level? Let me see.
I don't know because we don't name them.
I know. I found it. It's the $14 option of the Shadows of Raven Home. So
there you go.
There's a bunch of little characters in it, but I don't have any of those. All I have are the 3 terrain pieces, and so it's this main piece with the really cool stairs. And the back look at that really cool architecture. It's very gothic-y, kind of craft castle-y, really super cool. Then a ruined doorway, definitely Bob Rodolfi work, and then a little ruined wall. Kind of cool, like a little nice diorama piece. Yeah. So I'm going to be working on the main piece a little bit. Spent some time earlier today airbrushing up just some basic highlights and shadows in it to give me a good place to work from. And so today, while we're talking to Bob, I'm going to be working on this and kind of doing my painting of big basing pieces. And it's different in a way that it's not all super fine, high detail, massively contrast. You'll see a lot of contrast in it, but this will be a lot of washes and glazes and tintings and whatnot, and blendings through, because the key thing too is stone or rocks aren't gray necessarily. They can be if you want them to be, but it's nice. It's fun to add a lot of extra colors and whatnot into it as well. So I was told by the art director to keep it kind of dark and brooding. So no green grasses, and I probably won't add any nice little pretty flowers.
Oh.
Yeah, well, whatever. So I wanted to give her. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows who you and Julie are. But I kind of wanted to I was thinking about this. I couldn't how long have you actually been a professional sculptor of miniatures? Like when did you start, if you want to disclose the year? And you remember the very first piece that you did and what company was it for?
Well, my first piece that I actually sold was for the movie Aliens.
Oh.
That was back in late 80s. I started sculpting for me probably 82, maybe.
Yeah.
Never really got into it professionally because the company I was working for kept promoting me, and I was making too much money to try to be a starving artist. So
it's a horrible problem.
Yeah, and later on in my career, the company that I was working with was franchising out their stores and going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, well, maybe I'll go back to try sculpting. And my first job was doing resin model kits for Aliens. I had no idea how to sculpt. I contacted a company, and they said, "Can you do this?" And I went, "Sure." And I ended up working with them for years.
So these were model kits that were like aftermarket. You could go buy in the hobby store.
Yeah, they were licensed resin kits.
Well, that's it's you had to struggle so long for your first big break, obviously, right? I mean,
I managed. I called the company that hooked me up from the store that I was working at on my lunch hour. I said, I was looking to get the rights to do something that I wanted to try, and they said, well, we can't give you those rights because we don't own them, but there's a company out here that wants a sculptor for a movie project, an aftermarket movie project. And I said, okay.
And it was the second Aliens movie.
Yes.
And was it an alien or was it one of the space?
It was everything.
Marines,
we did the Marines, the aliens, the Queen. We had that company had a contract with Halcyon out of Europe we would do all the organic things and they would do all the vehicles, and they would cross promote across the pond.
And so
I wasn't even doing it full time at that point. I was still working when I was doing those.
And what medium were you using? Were you using green stuff or what were you? Okay.
Yeah, I was using green stuff and plastic. I was doing my hybrid pieces when I could.
Oh, that's cool. And then you were doing that. What was the transition into, miniatures into, maybe?
I always liked miniatures. I used to like to paint them. Mm-hmm. And a friend of mine that was out of work came and moved into the house that I had back when I was young, my first house. And before he was able to get a job while I was at work, he'd go out and buy miniatures. He enjoyed painting them, and he bought some at a place called Toys by Roy.
I remember that. I do.
And they were some Heritage, I think, John Carter of Mars figures.
Oh yeah.
And he couldn't find one of them. So I came home from work one day, and we're all sitting around the kitchen table, and he said, "Can you sculpt me the one that I don't have?" I said, "Sure." So I just sculpted it. He goes, "You really ought to try to do this for a living." So I decided I'll give it a shot. So I called Ralph Partha. Mm-hmm. I didn't know any better. I didn't know I couldn't sculpt. Nobody ever told me yet. So I called Ralph Partha, and they said, "Let me put you in touch with our art director," and it was Julie.
That's right.
That's how I met her.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. And did she reject you the first time you submitted something?
No, she gave me very good advice. Somebody else rejected my first one. She actually still has a copy of my first sculpture.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? She keeps it from you? Does she grade
She keeps it in the vault so I can't get to it, so the blackmail is always on the table.
Oh, that's funny. I do. I wasn't remembering that story, but as soon as you said the art
Yeah.
director, I'm like, that's it.
You
That
know, it
was.
was really weird too. It was really kind of one of
Mhm.
those serendipitous things where these pivotal moments in your life happen. You don't realize that they are while they're happening.
Mhm.
I called Julie, or actually Ralph Partha,
Mhm.
in April of 1983, and it was
Mhm.
about a month after my second child was born.
Mhm.
And I called on a Wednesday because I happened to have that day off, and Partha had an 800 number on the back of their package, and I was too cheap to pay for long distance back then. So I figured I'll call them on my day off.
Yeah.
And after the fact, years later, Julie and I got talking, and she only went in once a week.
Oh,
And it
really?
happened to be that Wednesday, and it happened to
Uh,
be when I made that call.
oh, it was fate.
So yeah, it was kind of cool.
So after did it take more than a couple of submissions to get accepted to be one of their sculptors,
I
or?
never sculpted for Alpartha.
Oh,
Oddly
okay.
enough, I talked to one of the owners, a wonderful man named Richard Smethurst, who at the
Uh-huh.
time was one of the owners, and he was very encouraging. He was really nice to me. They did casts of things that I sent in just to sample stuff. So they sent me mold pieces. They sent me diagrams on how this all worked. And I was actually slated to start working for Partha Imports
Mm-hmm.
when the company that I was working for promoted me into a ridiculously paying job that I couldn't give up. So I dropped out for 3 years.
Oh, wow. And were you still sculpting during that time, just on your own as
Just
kind
on
of a
my own,
hobby?
just messing around. You know,
Okay.
I was doing. I've always liked to draw,
Mm-hmm.
and the company that I was working with had me do. Besides being in the management position that I was in, I did a lot of line art for their advertising as
Mm-hmm.
well. Since I was on salary, I guess they figured they could beat me repeatedly, and I couldn't do anything about it. So
Mm-hmm.
I did that as well, and so I've always dabbled with it. Sculpting was never something I thought I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. But I mean, every time it sounded like you tried to do it, you just hit a home run on it, especially with the
Well,
aliens
I just
thing.
got lucky. I
Yeah.
think I got lucky because the first thing that I got into was very high profile,
Mm-hmm.
and that opened a lot of doors. You can go talk to somebody and they say, well, what have you done? You can say, well, I sculpted 3 clowns on unicycles for a pewter company. Or you can say, I worked on a project for aliens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the Ralpartha thing. So what was the first? You remember the first actual piece for what company was your very first miniature that you sculpted for it that got into general release somewhere?
Well, the first one was a company that I actually started.
Okay.
I had a small company that I was doing part-time while I was working,
Mm-hmm.
and so that would be it. And
Mm-hmm.
then the actual next thing was the aliens kits.
Okay. And then so for actual gaming miniature, like Ralpartha didn't work. Did you do anything for Grenadier, or was Reaper
I
your
never worked
first?
for
Or
Grenadier. I
mm-hmm.
worked for some other companies, some smaller companies that most of them
Mm-hmm.
aren't around. Reaper was
Okay.
really the first major one that I had a lot of work from. I did a few pieces for Rapham early on.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
couple other companies that leading edge probably being the one that most people realize because
Mm-hmm.
somehow through the aliens kits I got on their radar when they got the license to do an aliens RPG game box
Mm-hmm.
skin. So they talked to me. They said, would you do the figures for me? And I said, sure. So I ended up doing box sets for them, and then we started doing other licensed products. We did Bram Stoker's Dracula. We did Lawnmower Man.
Oh,
Yay!
cool.
A few other. I did Terminator up the wazoo. So between Aliens and Terminator, and Army of Darkness, we did those. It was a lot of fun. And
Oh, neat.
one of the projects, Army of Darkness, especially, they had more than I could do.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked me who I wanted to come on board. And at the time, Sandy Garrity was available. So I called her and said, you want to work with us? And she said, sure. So she
Mm-hmm.
got to do a lot of the Army of Darkness stuff too.
And so at what point I wanted to definitely talk about you. This has always fascinated me in talking to you guys, you and Julie, about Hasbro and your
Mm-hmm.
relationships and all the work you've done with them. Because we talk
Yes.
about our miniatures and our various scales, and you sculpting basically a static hard one piece, right? It's not movable. It's not opposable.
Correct.
But all the work that you've done with, I mean, Hasbro is one of the major companies, toy companies in the world, right? And
They were
you've
fun.
done, yeah, and you did a ton. You guys did a ton of work with them. You want to talk a
Yes.
little bit about, what your experience with them was, and maybe a couple of the projects?
Overall, it was really good. We had some really good art directors.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them had been sculptors, so we knew what questions to ask them, and they knew what answers to give us,
Mm-hmm.
which was kind of nice. But we've worked on all kinds of things. GI Joe was a good project.
Mm-hmm.
Early on, before they started sending us the not fiberglass, but the plastic they called bucks, which are actually the little armatures that had the joints built in that we sculpted over. Early on, we had to do our own joints, so that was kind of fun.
Oh,
We
wow.
learned a lot of engineering, how to do that kind of stuff. And we've done Star Wars toys and Marvel superheroes and SpongeBob Monopoly. It's a huge list. I mean, for us to sit down between the two of us, we've got over 70 years of experience.
Wow.
And we've worked on just about everything, I think,
Yeah.
except Barbie.
So pretty much you've touched most things in the Hasbro line over the years, at least.
I wouldn't say most of them, but a pretty
Yeah.
fair bit. Some of the fun things with Hasbro is there are really good people that we worked with.
Yeah.
When we were doing GI Joes, they had us put some of the faces of some of the Hasbro employees on there. They'd send us the pictures and we'd sculpt them in their likenesses, and they let us put our son on one of them.
Oh, really? Now, have
Yeah,
you?
No, go ahead.
You guys, have you watched that show on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us?
No.
Check it out. It's really cool, and there is one on GI Joe.
Oh, wow.
And they talk about how GI Joe started and what it was for and all that stuff. And I won't bore everybody because probably a lot of people have watched it. But yeah, you should check that out. And I'm a little annoyed with them by doing that show and not interviewing you guys because
Well, there was a lot of people that worked on the GI Joes, and there was a lot of different GI Joes to work on. I mean, we never did anything for the 12-inch line.
Mm-hmm.
The actual cloth dressed figures, we never did anything. At least I didn't.
The ones that you played with, and their hair would rub off the top.
Yeah, and the thumb that was on backwards on the one hand.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but we did a lot of the 3 3/4-inch figures. Those were a lot of fun. And
cool.
We actually did a smattering of the slightly bigger ones. They called them Sigma 6. We did some of those.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember that. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we did a lot of Star Wars stuff. Only the first 6 movies. We haven't done anything with the newer movies.
Okay. And so you're just really focusing on Reaper stuff at this point, right?
Yes. Okay.
And is that give you all the satisfaction in the sculpting thing because you have such flexibility?
Still have other things we float around with, but as far as doing miniatures, Reaper is really right now the only one we're working for.
Yeah.
Most people don't even approach us. I don't know why. I guess maybe they're afraid to talk to us, or they think we're just strictly Reaper sculptors. But we still get smatterings here and there. We don't take commissions generally.
Mm-hmm. Is it just because you've got so much other work through Reaper and other folks that you don't do individual private commissions, personal commissions?
That's part of it. And we like to have fun. And we've been at this so long that we've been Xerox machines for enough companies. It's nice to be able to design our own stuff after a while.
Yeah.
One of the things that people don't realize about Julie and I, we've both been art directors. We've both been concept artists. We've done all that. It's kind of nice to sit down and just do our own thing and have an art director like Ron, who's absolutely the best in the business, that lets us kind of run with it.
Yeah, he gives you enough leash to hang yourself or to go free with.
Yes, and that has happened on several occasions.
Yeah, and then so I wanted to, we were talking before the show, and Justin asked, what do you think of Bob? How would you define Bob? And I was like, golly. But then we started talking about what you sculpt, and you tend to sculpt very dark, brooding, like this castle scene. Like when I'm painting this, I did get a little art direction from Ron, but I'm kind of thinking of what your sculpting style is, and when I'm trying to paint this, give it a little bit more atmosphere and mood. You sculpt a lot of vampires, a lot of undead, the Wraiths, the Wraith guys that you did for the Kickstarter, the Viking, the Rune
Rune
Wraiths.
Whites or whatever they
Yeah,
call
Rune
them.
Rights, whatever. Yeah, those are just so freaking cool. There's a
Thank
video
you.
game that they kind of remind me of, although they,
Yeah, just a bit.
I'm sure that you didn't infringe upon their license whatsoever.
No.
But no. Yeah, this is just really cool. I mean, is that subject matter something that you're drawn to?
I like dark and brooding pretty much.
Yeah.
Growing up, our family was definitely more Addams family than normal family. Halloween was a huge part of my life growing up.
Yeah.
I just,
And they like to have you sleep in strange places.
yeah, well, that only when I was a kid. I don't do that now.
Oh, okay. You don't just jump in the
No.
drawer every now and then just to do it?
No,
Okay.
no. That was only because hotels weren't set up for families of 5 when I was young.
Yeah.
So when we would travel, my parents would get a room, and my sister and my mom would sleep in one bed, my dad and my older brother in the other one, and I just sleep in the drawer.
Did they close the drawer or leave it open?
No, they didn't close the drawer. They weren't savages, Michael.
Did they ever like, oh my God, we're running late, we got to make it to our next place and forget that you were in the drawer?
Yeah, I suspect that could have happened where I kind of when the house cleaning came in to see if we left any shirts and pull the drawer open and there I was.
Oh, and then you would end up doing some work around the hotel until they made the trip back around to pick you up?
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I referred to this on the show. I think Gene was on, and we were doing some freehand. So this line, I want you to read this line right here for me. What does that say?
I can't read it because the screen that I'm looking at is extremely small and blurry.
Right. Okay, but it would say something if you could read it. I just can't even make hide nor hair of this.
I don't know that it's an actual alphabet. It's just something that people in my family do.
So not just you. You guys just sit around the dinner table and at Thanksgiving and
it's not like we would, finish our dinner, hand out the pie and a bunch of pieces of paper and a pencil. No, that's not how this works. It's just kind of an idle, almost like automatic writing. A couple of my relatives and myself.
So cool. And like I said,
what's weird is I usually do it when I'm not looking at the paper.
Oh, that's crazy. And
it just happens.
And it's so parallel. I mean, all the lines are running relatively straight, like you would be paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something else going on in the head. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, sometimes mental disorders can take real interesting turns.
That's good. I'm going to keep.
Does that mean that no two of those symbols repeat?
No, they probably do. I know they're all over the house here. Everything, Julie goes to look at a note that I wrote, and she's got to decipher all this other crap to get to what I actually wrote. They're everywhere. And there is a similar pattern to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is. It's just really cool. There's some Cthulhu-esqueness going on as well.
But I've done it all my life. I have some old school papers from 3rd, 4th grade that's got them all over the margins.
You're communicating with your elder gods and
there you go.
Out in school. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So
I think it's a shopping list from somebody back in the olden time.
I got to paint this for Reaper, this piece. And the one that's on the website is the green one, the green glowing one. But I kind of like the blue one too.
The blue looks really good.
Yeah, he was just super cool. I like the flowiness of this, and if you see on the piece, it's the flow and the curve of it and the way the sword and everything goes on. This was your concepting of this piece, right?
Correct.
This wasn't any like Izzy art. No, Izzy art is awesome and everything, but this is, you guys just come with just such a cool stuff, and it just makes it a lot of fun. But I wanted to, one of the other things that you're known for besides the sculpting is kind of why I wanted to pick this piece up for painting for the show today was your basing kind of stuff. And you teach one of the, you're not teaching at Reaper online this year, are you?
I don't think so. We're not really set up. I mean, we were barely set up to do this.
Yeah, no, full credit to you. You came on, you were totally dialed in. You had your sound, you had your microphone all worked in even before I logged in today. I'm the one that, that messed everything up today. So all the issues were on my problem, my fault. But you teach a great sculpting class, but it's a different take to it. It's like base making and base building and using all the various found objects and whatnot. And one of
Yes.
the things that you gave me, you did this as a spec piece for Reaper. And for whatever reason, fortunately for me, Ron didn't purchase it.
Well, this
Right.
was before they were doing Kickstarter terrain. This
Yeah.
was something I did years ago. And it
And this
was
was,
just a test piece for me. I wanted to do a range of pieces like that. And
mhm.
I showed it to Ron, and he went, "Oh, that's nice."
But then that you gave it to me, which I was so completely blown away and honored and everything. And I think you thought I was going to paint it up. You even referenced today and put something on it. And I had considered it, but I was like, golly. And I've used this so many times to sculpt up so many different things
Yeah, actually,
as
I'm
a
kind of
reference
glad you
piece.
didn't paint it because,
Yeah,
you're one of the few people I can sit down and talk dioramas with
right.
because you get it. You understand the concept, and I'm glad you have something to look at.
Well, I'm
By the
glad
way,
that, yeah.
Ron is in chat, and
Oh,
I think he's actually watching the show.
oh my
Ooh, see, I
God.
can't see chat, so if something
No,
happens, let me know.
yeah.
He wants a copy of the Bob alphabet.
Okay, yeah. I will. Well, I can give you the copy I have, Ron, or Bob can make you a new one. I'm sure
Oh,
if
I can
Bob
just
does
grab
one,
something off the desk. There's stacks of that
yeah,
stuff over here.
I'm sure Ron's got a budget for it though. Just letting you know, Bob. I'm sure. Just throw it in on your next invoice and include it in there. Anyway, so we were at an artist con together, and I was wanting to come up with this diorama piece that I'm going to show in a second. One of my probably, if I had to choose one all-time favorite piece that I've ever done, it's the one I'll show in a minute. But I was struggling in how I needed to make it was a Victorian kind of runes thing, and you showed me how to use plasticard basically and
Yes.
make anything, literally anything out of plasticard, doors, walls, whatever. And it was just one of those, and you're really good about this. It's so eye-opening, yet it's such an eye-opening moment, and it's such like, duh, why didn't I think of that moment at the
Yeah.
same time every freaking time? Like, duh, yeah, this is what it is. I mean, the texture that you used on this probably was in part from this little piece of soul that you gave me.
Something very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And this is just a piece of a scrubbing pad, or
No, that one's a non-slib shoe pad. That's
right?
what it is. You stick them on the bottom of your shoes, you don't fall down in the rain.
Yeah, and so it's got this really nice texture, and you can use it, and you can see I've got milliput all in mine because I've used it for all kinds of things and bases over the years. And same thing with this. And you showing me basically how to do this, and this was like, I think the second or third thing after you showed me that I did, led to, I don't know if you remember me showing you this piece. This is one of my favorite pieces.
Yes, I love that piece.
And this was Don't Be Sad. It's about Michelle. This is Michelle, and that's me in the back. And it was about Michelle's mom passing, and she had already lost her dad before we had met. And so it was her being an orphan, so she's off to the orphanage. But I had the idea, the concept of it, and I need to give Gene Van Horn props because he helped me with a lot of conversions on both of the pieces to make them fit better and work well. But it's this column and this column and building the wall and building up here was all like I talked with you about, okay, how do I construct this? How do I set all this up? Yeah. So it was, I want to thank you for that because it helped turn on
thank
the
you.
light, because all my basing really was for the longest time, and it still is because I really enjoy it, outdoor woodsy kind of scenes. Those are still a ton of fun for me. But doing some more old Victorian kind of, there's a video game called Bloodborne that I like to play. It's
Yes.
old, and just that kind of vibe. I remember showing you PS4 screen grabs and saying,
Yes.
this is what I want to do. Help me make this kind of stuff. And you were so great in doing that. So yeah, it's fun. We always me and you try to sit down at least a little bit and talk about basing things and building
I enjoy
things.
it. As a matter of fact, when I was in my second year of high school, my main focus was architectural drafting.
Oh.
And I had thought about becoming an architect because I very much like buildings and architecture and the form of it.
Sorry, Michelle was texting me, or she was
That's okay.
getting her filling done, and it was raining down there. It's not raining here yet, though. So.
You know, something I was going to reference to that piece that you just showed that you did. I actually thought about that piece when my father died, because he was the last of my parents to go, and it actually gave me an odd sort of comfort to know that somebody else felt the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, so a little bit more on this, and was so her mom had passed, and she kept saying to me, I'm an orphan. And she was half joking. And Michelle has a very dark humor like me and likes to joke about some of the difficult things and stuff. But I would say to her, yeah, don't be sad. It's okay. It's all right. But how does that really matter? I mean, I always felt so awkward. And that's why I'm kind of like the boogeyman. I'm trying to hand her a teddy bear to make her feel better. And then on the back is all the little children's art and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that's a great piece.
It could be creepy. Oh, I had a little break off. It could be a little creepy, but it's kind of fun too at the same time, and I don't know. And then talking with you about basing in grass tufts and mixing in things and the milliput. I mean, I had started goofing around with milliput, and then you were showing me how you used it and stuff over the years. It's been, I mean, a lot of my basing development and progression has been in no small part due to your assistance over the years.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You're a good student. I have to admit, you catch on a lot faster than most people.
Well, I don't know about that, but I try. I need to build some more stuff. I'm working on another kind of Bloodborne-y kind of scene setting right now, and it's going to incorporate an old Rackham confrontation piece, one of the undead wolfen things. So I'm going to be picking your brain a little bit. I'm going to build some kind of ruined city walls. So. I wanted to talk to you a little about this piece right here. Yeah. This is traditional, right? I mean, there's no digital sculpting here. This is all you built this from scratch.
Yeah.
So one of the obstacles that I had in coming and even starting a diorama piece is building it up, starting from and getting the volumes in between to add the textures on the outside. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so when you started this piece, what was your foundation piece that you sculpted around? Does that make sense? Yeah. Does that make sense in that question?
Yes. I'm trying to remember that particular one. I've done many buildings. Generally, the mass bulk of it, like the stairs and the underneath of the landing, is just cork. Okay. Just regular cork. I just laminate it all together with glue, and you sculpt it or build it slightly smaller than it's going to be when you're done, because you're going to have to layer it with something. And the walls that curve around the back, depending, I'm not sure which one I did on that one, but it's either other layers of thinner cork that make the architectural shapes, or something that I can bake. Like maybe there might be a piece of sheet metal in there if I'm going to use Fimo or something like that. So it depends. There's a lot of different ways to get it. That one I'm pretty sure was pretty much cork laminate and then green stuff with a little bit of Fimo mixed in, which extends your working time, but you don't have to put it in the oven, which is nice because the Fimo will fire off when the endothermic properties of the green stuff heat it up together. Okay. That's how it cures. It cures from the inside out with heat. It generates its own heat. So you just sculpt it, and you've got more time to work on it, and then you just let it sit.
Oh, cool.
It hardens up, and then you do some more.
And that is your main sculpting medium is with green stuff, and then some Fimo mixed in?
Fimo, yeah. I like to do a lot of hybrid stuff, so I use a lot of cork and plastic and some other stuff. It's been nicer now that Reaper is doing plastic stuff, and they
Mhm.
can do resin molds and stuff, so you don't have to worry about the heat and the pressure destroying the plastic bits underneath.
Yeah.
And so for digital sculpting, you can do all that virtually. For analog caveman sculpting, you have to build it all in 3D,
Yeah.
and you have to have it thick enough, and you don't want that much green stuff. Your fingers will get tired mixing it, so you have to have something to bulk it up.
Yeah.
But when they were just doing metal pieces, you couldn't do something like this.
No, it'd be way too expensive.
For the
Super
toy
expensive.
companies, we could do it, but we couldn't, because they could do RTV molds all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
But for the miniatures companies, and we also did a lot of stuff for pewter companies, and even that, and giftware companies, they don't have the RTV capabilities that some of the newer places do.
Oh, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
I do remember a lot of the concept ideas, and maybe even why this, this initial thing, like you said, wasn't like jumped on. It was before Bones Kickstarter 1, right? This piece?
I believe so. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'd almost even forgotten about that piece.
Yeah, I've had it ever since, and it's the Bones Kickstarter thing. I mean, Jason's talked about it as well, and so is Gene and them too. But about being able to even sculpt bigger and bigger pieces, and how the Bones lets it be more cost effective to do that stuff.
I like doing terrain. You can't do terrain in metal. Julie likes doing dragons and big monsters. You can't really do that in metal. When they offered us this second Dragons Don't Share with the terrain and the people and the dragon, it was Christmas.
I know. I got to paint one of the characters, but I did get to paint all of your terrain for the box.
I know, that was fun. I really enjoyed looking at that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a ton of fun. So there's kind of the archway is probably relatively far done.
Looks good.
Yeah, it's one of the challenges in doing the terrain pieces and painting them is I don't have the characters and I haven't painted the characters. So this has to be painted with some lighting and stuff that would incorporate just characters being on it and not knowing how their light source and everything is going to be on. So it's a little bit of a different approach, but just trying to create some kind of atmosphere or mood at least.
Cool.
And hopefully if Ron's on, Reaper Ron says it looks great. So I guess
nice.
that's approval too.
Good.
Yeah,
like I said, I can't see chat, so it's nice to hear that.
I have my iPad to the left of where I'm painting, and I kind of look up every now and then, but it's the walking and chewing gum kind of thing for me. If I get too distracted, I forget what you and I are talking about or what I'm doing or what's going on. So I try to look up every now and then. Let's see. I don't know. So yeah, it's just, I find also I really like painting the terrain pieces because it's a break from, and you probably think the same way from sculpting too. It's just a break, and almost more of, not that I don't want it to look really good, but I don't have to be super duper on spot precise exactly like you do with the painting a miniature. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, because one thing about sculpting terrain as opposed to sculpting a person is you can sculpt a figure. And people see figures all the time, and they see buildings all the time too, but they're a lot more forgiving if the building looks a little wonky than if the figure does. If you notice, I do a lot of ruined buildings. And there's a reason for that too.
Well, yeah. I said on one of the shows that I was probably known more for my basing than I was for my painting of miniatures, and that was intentional. I would try to distract the hell out of you with my base, so you weren't paying attention to the painted part as much. So, no, I hear you. I'm right there with you with that.
No, I enjoy looking at your painted stuff because I can't paint like that.
Well, let's talk about that because you are a Sophie Award-winning painter.
Yes, but I'm not sure that. Yeah,
you
I guess
are.
That counts.
You won. You won in the diorama category, and forgive me, was it a gold or a silver?
What, the Sophie?
Yeah,
the Sophie was a silver.
Yeah, you won a silver Sophie in the current iteration, and since Ron is on, that's why I'm exaggerating these points. You won a Sophie trophy in the current structure of the Sophie competition, right? Not an old manufacturer like Reaper employees category or anything.
No, this wasn't a let the old guy win one case he dies type of a thing. No, I think I actually won one.
You did, and you owned it, and Julie won one too, and her
Yeah.
piece was phenomenal. But you're on today, and I wanted that piece was just phenomenal.
Well, that was that Indiana Jones mouseling piece.
Yes,
The
and you won
Rodents
a
of the Lost
mouseling
Ark.
trophy for that too.
I did. I got a gold on that one.
God, you just came up and beat up all the little kids that year.
And that was the second thing I painted in 30 years.
Oh, just rub it in even more to all the folks that haven't,
Well, I didn't win on the first one I painted in 30 years. I got a silver on that one.
Yeah, well, we bumped you up from certificate of merit.
That was a mercy one.
No, that was super sweet. That was just such a great piece. I don't know. What else have we got going on? Did you have anything that you wanted to? What were you thinking I was going to ask you today?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just kept looking for the bus and trying to keep my head down.
You haven't gotten well. I mean, you haven't got run over by the bus yet today. I don't think. Justin has he gotten hit by the bus today?
Nope, just me.
Just you. And that was before the show that I hit you at the bus. That wasn't during the show, was it?
No, not so far.
No, not so far. Are you seem a little gun shy right now, like you're getting ready to get hit by the bus.
Every now and then you just gotta brace for it.
I mean, we can't totally be driving the bus over everybody all the time. Then it would get, But to echo Ron, yes, a trophy is a trophy. I get it. I get it, and it's.
I was very flattered that I actually won. I was surprised and quite happy with it.
Yeah, no, it was
especially
in
something that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
I put a lot of time into that, and I had to mix the colors mathematically, but it was nice.
Because let's talk about that. You have issues in seeing colors.
Yes.
And we were talking about that a little bit more in the show, and you figured out the diagnosis that you have.
Actually, I did. I have to give props to Derek Schubert.
Okay.
Yeah, it was watching him paint years ago at Reaper that made me realize that what I had suspected all my life was true. I was watching him mix up a round palette that had a mixture of colors. I think there might have been 10 or a dozen of them. And there were several shade levels. And I could only see 4 different colors out of all those shades. So I have since found out that is something that's called color vision deficiency. And it's generally passed down genetically from the mother side of the family. You can see colors, so I know what blue is, I know what red is. I mean, it's not like color blindness. I do see all the colors. I just don't see all the shades of those colors.
Okay.
So that was one of the reasons I never painted, because I am not good at color. I can't do color combinations. I can't see the subtleties of the shading and the washes and the glazings. So the way I tried to overcome it was to enter something in the Reaper contest. And how I mixed my shades is I did it mathematically. I'd put a drop of one color and then a drop of another color that I knew was lighter. So if I had to go another lighter, I would put 2 drops of the lighter color. So theoretically, even though I can't see it, it should be there.
Okay.
So it seemed to work.
Was Julie helping you to make sure that you weren't too far off base, or did you wing this?
She helps me all the time to make sure I'm not too far off base on everything.
Well, I wasn't going to go all the way delve that deep into your life on the show, but you know,
if anybody needed a seeing eye human, it's me.
Oh yeah, I mean, the rest of us know that. I just wasn't going to tell the rest of the community, how much Julie does.
But I've grown up with eye problems. I have all kinds of different eye maladies, so I kind of wasn't terribly surprised. There really isn't much you can do about it. I mean, you could try training your eyes to see the different colors better, but it's difficult.
Wow. See, and that's even you. It was your second miniature painting back. You have a color deficiency syndrome, in hereditary problem, and you still walked away with Sophie Trophy.
Well, it's because I can add.
I am curious though, Bob. In that circumstance, can you see contrasts in the colors that you can't see the shades of?
I have trouble with that. Just anecdotally, when had my 3 kids were young. They would come down to school or come down from school, and they'd say, "How would you like me to wear this tomorrow to school?" And I'd look at it, and if I told them their outfit looked good, they'd go change it. I kid you not, and that's just how it always was. I just don't see colors well. I've never been able to use a color wheel. Every bit of artwork I've ever gotten paid for has been monochromatic. All the artwork I did in 2D is all, even concept art. Everything was black and white. I've never gotten paid for anything in color.
Did you
Wow.
did you ever submit anything in color?
Yeah. Which is why I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
You can only take so much rejection.
Oh, okay. Did they just come back?
So yeah,
and say,
I don't. So painting is a real challenge. It's almost therapy for me. I enjoy it because it's trying to overcome something that I don't have any control over.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool though. And again, just to reiterate, second miniature you're painting, again, deficient in seeing colors, and you walk away with the silver trophy. And I think you got the gold mouse sling trophy that year. This
Yes,
was only
I did.
like 2 years ago that this happened. It wasn't like it was a long time ago.
That was fun.
Yeah. So yeah, congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank
It
you.
was an amazing piece. Is that piece at home with you, or?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And do you guys have? I mean, so we were talking earlier about all the Hasbro pieces and all the other pieces, all the Alien pieces. Do you have a copy of the things that you've done over the years? It would
Not
probably be
everything.
too many. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if we had a copy of everything, we'd have to have more than one house.
Yeah.
We have some, some of the ones that were really pivotal and meant a lot, like the G.I. Joe with our son's face on it.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty special. We did a lot of giftware things for different companies over the years, and we got to put our daughters' faces on a bunch of them. So that was kind of neat. That kind of stuff. And we've put friends' faces on it, and friends' wives' faces on them.
Oh,
And it's just kind of a nice little tribute thing.
that's cool. That's super cool.
Yeah. Hasbro was pretty cool about that, but we did have to submit pictures, so we didn't send some gargoyle kid or something that nobody wanted to see, and we were lucky.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Justin?
Actually, yes. I'm glad you paused there.
Yeah.
So since Ron is in the chat, assuming Ron
Yeah.
has run off.
Hi, Ron.
Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it earlier. But I did send an email, and hopefully I didn't miss this. But did we give the account of your story from that fateful night where you allegedly terrified Ron?
Oh, the Gen Con story?
Yeah.
So
well,
we heard Ron's side. We kind of want the truth now.
Well, I can't throw Ron under the bus, so I'm going to have to corroborate his side of the story. I do sleep with my eyes open. I've always done it. Again, a couple of other family members have done it. We're just a hereditarily weird family. And I was rooming with Ron the first Gen Con I ever went to, and I was sleeping, I believe, on the couch. And he didn't know me from Adam, so I think he came into the room, and I was laying on the couch on my back, staring at him. And I don't know if he was talking to me or not, but I think he might have even thought I was awake. I don't know. But for people that don't know that you do that, it's a little unnerving.
Yeah.
For one thing, you could be dead for all they know, because you're not blinking either.
Did Ron try to give you mouth to mouth?
No.
Okay.
I feel like there's something missing here.
Yeah, I know. What's missing, Justin? What are we missing?
What are we missing, Justin?
I feel like we're dropping the ball here on some kind of good question or some kind of good bus angle.
No bus angles. We don't need bus angles.
Okay.
Actually, I don't even if we tried, I don't know if we could run Bob over at all.
No, we're not running Bob over because the host tend not to get the bus driven over them for the most part.
Tend not to.
Not to. It's kind of a rule, a loose rule, but we try not to overly run them over.
Well, that's good.
Ron did say apparently he He did kick you to see if you were drunk and passed out, though.
Well, I'm not surprised. I don't remember that, so I'm glad that's all he did.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. All right.
Yeah, exactly, Trasharama. He said,
Yeah.
"It sounds like some money exchanged hands to keep this story quiet."
Yeah. Oh, I think Trash Rama asked if this piece was from the Dragons Don't Share. No, this piece is from the new Kickstarter, Bones 5, and it was the Dracula's Lair piece set. I forget, I said the name earlier. Let me see if I can get back to it. It's the Shadows of Raven Home. And there's a lot. It's $14 option. It has this piece, and it has this doorway, this ruined doorway, and it has this little curved wall. And then it has, if I'm counting right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 miniatures associated with it. And did you sculpt all the miniatures, or
No,
was
no.
that-
Christine Van Patten did most of them. I did that's what I'm thinking of it. I did the lady with the kukri knife in the head, or the
Yeah.
torch. I mean,
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
that one. She did all the vampiric figures. Did a great job on those.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing those in person.
So you and Julie both sculpt, obviously, right? That's stupid to say. But you guys
From time to
will
time.
combo sculpt on pieces sometimes. Like
Occasionally, yeah. Again, part of it is because of my eye deficiency. I'll be working on something and I can't see it from a certain angle, so I might do all of one face except part of one eye, and I just can't get the lights right for my weak eye to do stereo. So I give it to her to finish.
Okay.
And every once in a while, if there's something that she's got on a base of hers or something like that I'm strong at, mostly the undead stuff and runic bits and terrain pieces, I might sculpt one or two for her to just speed up her process. One of our best collaborations were those Ghost Pirates we did.
Yes, those are awesome. I love those. I have those.
See, I did all the bases and she did all the ghosts.
Yeah, those are so cool. And actually, I think those just came out in clear, but I actually have some metal copies
neat.
that I wanted to paint up too, because those are so freaking cool. I love those.
Those were fun.
Yeah. And today's drink of the day is Big Red. I had to run to get some gas, and I ran into the convenience store, and I'm like, I haven't had a Big Red in forever. Just the worst thing you could possibly drink.
That's right up there.
So good. And I'm surprised that our little convenience store has them. It's kind of a Texas thing, and they're made in Texas. And so, they had them. I was like, wow, that's cool. Grab me a Big Red. I'm going to get in trouble for it when Michelle gets home. But, I'm going to enjoy it while I can. So,
Do you typically not drink soda?
no, I try not to. Too much sugar. I mean, this is like, I don't even drink like the diet, so I'm trying not to anymore. Not that I haven't drinking a bunch of it. Drinking? That's all I have.
Drinking.
Like I have drinking. I'm getting that Texas back in me. Drinking.
I was going to say, you are drinking Big Red there.
I'm drinking that Big Red, yeah. Oh, see, Trasharama is on. And so Trasharama made me some really cool art. And if I can do it, I'm going to show it off right now. And there it is.
Which art is this?
The one that I showed you. Holy crap. Oh.
Is it? Hold on, you have to hit the little eye.
I hit the eye?
It's down at the bottom, yeah. So, no, not that.
Yeah. What eye?
It's the eye to the right there. Do you see with a slash through it next to the right? Nope, that's right there.
There we go. Boom. All right. So Trasharama made this for the show. Isn't that cool? Can you see it? Yeah. We're going to use this somehow. While I'm thinking about it, if you want, people have been mentioning they're interested in T-shirts. I made a Clever Crow Zazzle store, and so you can look up Clever Crow, probably look up Crow's Nest. There's 2 T-shirts right now. There's a third that I'm going to be popping on there, and then that for the 2 right now are Jason's bus art, and then we have Gene's original Clever Crow, the Crow's Nest art. And I might, if I have Trashorama's approval, I'd like to put this up in a on a T-shirt too, if he's cool with it. And that's what was a question that I asked him. If he thinks if he's cool with that, I can look at add that as well. So super thanks again, super awesome. Let's look at it one more time just because it's so much fun. Yeah, that's just really neat. I like kind of the fadedness of the, like there was an old picture tube from an old TV. Now, Justin, do you remember? Did you ever have a TV that had a knob on it?
I did. I actually had one that had specific buttons for certain channels as well.
Okay. All right. So you don't. It's not like you don't know what a telephone is, a push button telephone, or a.
Correct. Actually, my grandfather had a rotary telephone until like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Cool. So for those that don't know, this is what a TV used to look like a long time ago.
Yeah, and it weighed about 300 pounds for a 16-inch version of that same one right there.
In college, I worked for a TV repair shop, and they also did satellite dish installations. And this was like when the satellite dishes were like 30 feet across diameter, and so I had to strap one of those on my back and climb up a scaffolding ladder to put that on top of a pole on a roof one time. I almost died because it started getting windy. But yeah, that's a useless story. Also, Planers on, I saw that they were, last week I think we talked about how her kids had rescued a crow, and that they were, I saw a note from her that they were releasing it too. So that's kind of cool too. So we're kind of up on the hour right now. Is there anything else any other questions you had for the Mr. Rodolfi?
No, all of my questions got answered actually.
Anything we missed in chat that I will watch the show generally afterwards and just kind of mute it and see all the comments to see what I've missed. Is there any questions or anything that we missed?
Most of it, from what I could tell, looks to be just side comments.
Okay. Yeah, I want to thank all the people on. I see that Rhonda's on. I saw that Gene was on.
We do actually have a great question that came in from Rhonda a minute ago.
All right.
Can we have a new show to watch of Justin trying to explain technical things to Michael?
Yes, we should do that. We'll do a special Crow's Nest edition, non-guest related, of Justin trying to explain to me how what OBS is and what those other streaming things that he tries to tell me, and why things sound the way they sound, and why I can't get the microphone to work on a consistent basis. Although, to my credit, today's microphone sound debacle hasn't happened in quite a while. We've done
it has not.
At least 4 or 5 episodes without having problems.
No, you've done very well, and actually, huge commendation to Bob as well. Bob got right into Discord, clicked everything we asked him to, 0 issues, came in nice and clear. So kudos, Bob.
Well, thank you.
Cool. Well, we're going to call it a show, I think.
Yes.
So this is the time where I talk about the other shows, and so nothing the rest of the day besides who you decide to support and stream, Justin. But tomorrow is Anne, and Anne does her show, like everybody knows, every single day at 11:30. She's generally an hour, sometimes more. Sometimes there's some bonus content. She does a fabulous job. She also started her own Twitch channel. Right? Is that Painting Big? Is that the name of it, Justin? Or is it?
Yeah, she said she was trying to get affiliate this week. So, in fact, I believe if we do this right, we might raid her after the show.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was my next question, because we raided her last time. So if she's on, please raid her for that, to give her all the support. And of course, you guys all know who she is. Please throw all the support that you can. We got 110 people on. Again, 110 people. That's freaking crazy. And I know I only logged in like 10 times, so that's like 100 people at least. So thanks a lot there. And then, so we talked about Anne. Wednesday, nothing in the afternoon yet. Oh, no, you're doing a test stream, right?
Well, we're going to do an actual show. It's going to be more of a test, but it is going to be something people can watch. Starting at 3 o'clock tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central, we're going to be doing an hour to 2 hours with Luca for Miniatures Den. We're going to kind of see what that might look like.
Yeah,
He's
and
going to be
Luke
painting some stuff. I'm going to be asking him some questions, and we're just going to be hanging out. So
and Luca is a super duper high end painter out of Italy, right? I got the country right this time.
correct. Yes, you did.
Better
No.
get that one right, Michael.
No, I know, right? Especially with you on. I've watched his stream. I mean, he's a really good painter, really good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. And he actually talks about what he's doing as opposed to me that just starts painting and talking to random people. And then so Thursday, Ann, then Sadie for painting platinum, and you get to see all the cool colors that she's working up. And then that little known, little talked about show Reaper Live. They're still struggling for people to watch. And then Friday. Now this is an off Friday. This isn't every other Friday is really the big Friday. This is the kind of the off Friday. We have Ann again, which isn't off, but there's at the end of it you'll know. Then we have Reaperland, and that's like at 2 or 2:30 or something.
3 o'clock Central.
Yeah, or 3 o'clock. So could start at 3:30, but they generally start on time. No, or are they screwing around?
No, Reaperland starts pretty much on time within a few minutes.
Yeah, that's because of John, I'm sure. John cracks a whip and keeps it going. But
yeah, well, 90% of it's because they show up on time. Gig at Ron. Actually, you know what? Let's turn this bus around and run Ron over real quick.
And then Bobby's on. Hey Bobby. Hey Julie. And then that for Friday, that's it. Just those two shows, right?
Yes, this Friday.
There's nothing else. And then then the following week is the big week because that's when we get to play D&D again with Reaper Errant, and that's a lot of fun.
Yes, actually, now that Bobby has become a tech guru,
yeah,
we should be able to get Bobby and Julie in, or vice versa, either one. Get them in to play maybe a session D&D with us.
Would you like to play D&D, Bob?
Me?
Yeah, you like to play D&D.
I'm not very good at it.
Yeah.
Oh, that never stopped me, Bob.
No, Justin, he can hit he can hit the shit out of a door with a fireball. So you'll do fine. You'll do fine.
Yeah.
And then we killed the witch and we're off to the mountain and to the secret cave. I'm hoping, and we're not gonna goof around because Jackson wants to wander around looking for people that fell out of the witch's house. Yeah, and there's no goats.
Jackson said Bobby could be his goat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Bob. There's Bobby Jackson, and Bob Rodolphe. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So Bob the goat.
Oh,
Bob,
thanks.
You don't want to be a goat though.
No, but it would be interesting to get Bobby and his Julie and me and my Julie all on at the same time.
Oh no.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that would get you weird after a while.
Yeah.
You B1, B2, J1, J2.
Right.
We'll treat it like a soundboard here, guys.
Well, awesome. So next week, big tease. Next week is who's going to be on next week, Bob?
The better half of GR Studios.
I don't know if the better half. It's a great half. It's definitely a fantastic, perfect, awesome half. But yeah, I mean, I'd say that the both halves are pretty equal in their awesomeness. But yeah, we're gonna have Julie Guthrie on. Queen of Dragons, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Queen of Dragons is. Been super excited about that. Not that you're the warm up to Julie, Bob.
Oh, sure, no problem. I'm the plus one.
I only say that because you always say you're the plus one, anyways. So. But anyways, yeah. So thanks again.
Somebody's got to make the coffee.
And your coffee's good, I hear. So
that's right.
Yeah, you had a lot of practice at it.
That's right.
But I see a lot of people in our feed, Justin, that you could throw subs at.
Actually, it just looks like B Jackson 2000 over and over. Whoever that is.
Alrighty. Well, thanks again for watching. I'm trying to get it out. Do you have somebody? Is Ann on yet?
She says she's getting it ready. We'll probably still raid her, and then you guys can hang out for a few minutes while she gets her stuff going.
Okay. So you're just gonna rate, and then you're gonna rate her now, or do we want to wait? We can just goof around until then. Whatever we
Let
want
me
to do.
see if she's gotten it up and going. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, she's losing people as we speak.
Real question though.
The
Real
longer,
big question here.
yeah, yeah.
So Bobby, Jason,
Uh-huh.
and now that I see Jen, she's gonna get bundled in here.
Hmm.
They all have Amazon Prime, you would imagine, right?
I probably not. I don't know.
Oh,
They
none of
might.
them. None of
They
them do.
might. They might. Yeah.
Well,
Let's say they do. Okay. Let's just go with your
let's
idea here.
assume they do.
Yeah.
Then you guys should use your free Twitch Prime sub on our
Oh.
channel. So there's no reason not to be a sub. That's why I didn't call you out, Gene. You've been a sub for how long now?
But
6 months.
what if now all those people you
There
mentioned were
goes
married?
Clavicus. Thank you, Clavicus.
What if your significant other has the Prime account and it's under their email, so thus you can't use that to get the sub for your account?
I would say be resourceful.
I don't know how to do that. We could do a show on that, and we could teach everybody else how to do it.
Yeah,
I don't
we
know how to
could
do
we
that.
could do that. Also, Bobby, he said post instructions. There's actually a command in our chat that's about 8 months old that has been rotating every 10 seconds, I believe, or 15 seconds, on how to connect your Twitch Prime with your Twitch account or your Amazon Prime with your Twitch account in order to do that.
Hmm.
And Bobby, we both know you know how to do it.
We need a tutorial. Maybe before our next Reaper errant, you can get on early and show us boomers how to do it.
Oh, thank you,
Since
More Than Dice.
what happened?
We got a raid right before we raid Ann.
Cool. We got 10 people to throw at Ann. That's awesome. So everybody that's joined over, thank you for joining. If you didn't know what you were getting yourselves into, this is the Crow's Nest. We are getting towards the end of our show. We're waiting for Ann Forrester to get up and rolling on her personal Twitch. Kathy Wapple's on too. Awesome. So let's hang out. We're vamping a little bit while Ann gets ready
She
to
just told
roll.
me she had it up. So
Awesome. So cheers, take care. You guys stay safe. Again, let's do the whole COVID thing. Wear your masks. Definitely wear your masks. Don't touch
yeah,
strange people.
I was gonna say Kathy Wappel is More Than Dice podcast, the one that rated us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she is. I'm sorry. So sorry,
Proctor's
Kathy.
not on Twitch, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm lucky to be what I'm doing right now. So again, Bob, you're awesome, dude. Miss you.
Well, thank you. It's been a terrifying honor.
And we got to hang out again. That was the thing with this show. We don't get to be in person right now, so at least this is my little substitute for that, to get all you guys on, my super close friends, and to hang out and chat and stuff. So I hope you had
Yeah,
a
we
good
miss you.
time.
It was fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna cry now. But anyway, so throw us away before I start tearing up, Justin.
Or I could just leave an awkward pause here.
I don't see that you're starting to raid anything yet. What's going on?
Hold on.
Yeah, well, it's not like you'd be prepared or anything.
She had issues with her OBS. Thank you.
Oh,
And now
okay. Okay, now you're good. Now we're ready to start. Oh, there I go. We are rating Painting Big with a bunch of people. So thanks again, everybody. See you next week with Julie's going to be on, and we're going to have fun. We'll have just as much fun as we had today. How about that, Bob?
That's great.
if not more.
If
Probably more.
Oh, I don't expect how we could have more. I mean, this was perfect. So,
I mean, it is Julie and not Bob. Sorry, Bob. Had to clip you a little bit.
That's okay.
Yeah. See, Bob. Yeah. When we're on, when next time you're on, Justin may or may not still be here.
And then you'd be doing a show with no sound.
No sound. Or nothing.
We'll just put that one back around. We'll just.
It'd be
just,
a total
you know.
fail. It'd be a total fail. All right. Later,
But yes,
guys.
thank you very much, Bob. Yes, everyone,
Thank
keep
you
being awesome.
Yeah.
Tell Ann we said hi, and yeah, thanks again, Bob.
Longest
Thank
outro in Twitch history. Bye.
Yeah, that's it. See you guys. Keep being awesome.